Joining me now via Skype with more on whether or not the IDF is as prepared for war as it claims to be is Dr. Martin Sherman, founder and executive director of the Israel Institute for Strategic Studies. Dr. Sherman, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, so my first question for you, are we prepared? These are some pretty major claims.
I really can't claim to have specific details that would enable me to judge the merits of the case either way, but I can give you the assessment of an informed layman.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was very difficult to believe that the IDF ombudsman would issue such scathing reports, in fact reports, if there was absolutely nothing to them. And I think in Israel's precarious security position, it would be prudent to err on the side of caution. The country is facing very grave threats, and there's not much room for error. You have the whole gamut of threats, from terror to conventional threats, which have receded a little bit, but not exactly vanished. And then you have the non-conventional and missile threats from long-range enemies. So there's really not much room for complacency. We have to deal with Syria, Hezbollah, Hamas, Iran. And I think it's important not to be led by the spectacular success of specialized units like the Air Force, or the intelligence, or special forces both on land and at sea, because that doesn't really determine your ability to wage a long-term war.
So what does?
Well, the weaknesses that the Ombudsman seems to be pointing to are a dangerous reduction in manpower, your ability to sustain your stamina over a longer period. It's not merely, a special operation which may be very spectacular and very successful, but only requires a short period of time. You need the wherewithal to sustain an ongoing battle, and that's why I think perhaps there's a little bit of complacency on reducing our the quantitative dimension, not only focusing on the qualitative dimension.
So I want to, again, back on that point, because you're mentioning a lot about how it would be prudent, at least regardless, to look into these claims that the former ombudsman has made. But then, if that's the case, why is Avigdor Lieberman so kind of quick to say, no, there are no problems? Why not take the same position as Gadi Eisenkot and say, you know what, we'll look into it?
Well, I'm not sure that he hasn't said that he'd look into it. Some of the reports that I saw said he was open to looking to some aspects, but to side with the ombudsman completely would basically be to admit serious failure on his part. I hope that people can get past that. So it's easy to be carried away with that and misled. But I'm not sure those sort of things basically testify to the ability of the IDF to wage a sustained campaign. And we've seen some worrying signs in the last few years. We saw the Second Lebanese War, there were serious defects. We haven't been spectacularly successful in Gaza either. So I certainly think there's place for a profound rethink of how the army is structured.
I hate to stop you there, but unfortunately we've run out of time. But still, I hope that you're right, that the ombudsman, his advice will be taken into consideration, that, and hopefully, if anything is found, the necessary changes will be made. Dr. Sherman, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you again.